The rift is all golden trees and autumn vibes. Then, you look at the water and it's clean like someone pressure washed it every hour. Leaves everywhere on land, nothing floating, which looks wrong the moment you pay attention. TMD The Rift Leaves fixes that by spreading fallen leaves across the rivers and pools in that region. Near banks, rocks, and structures, they gather into thicker patches that sit in the shallows and corners. Further out, they thin into scattered pieces, drifting on the darker water. It gives the surface texture and movement without turning it into soup. The contrast is strong, dark, cold water with warm yellow and orange shapes sliding across it. When you walk or ride along the shore, you get that constant mix of reflection, ripple, and leaf movement, which makes low camera shots a lot more interesting. Paired with better trees and grass, it ties the whole scene together. Color from the forest bleeds into the river instead of stopping at the shoreline, and the rift finally looks like all that foliage ends up somewhere instead of disappearing the second it falls. NAT is the flip the whole sky button. Weather, lighting, clouds, fog, nights, particles, even tone mapping all get reworked, so the game stops looking like it's running one shared light preset with different levels of mist. Clear days hit harder, cloudy days feel heavier, storms get proper punch, and transitions between them are smooth instead of instant filter swaps. The core of it is the NAT settings spell. You pop it, and from there you decide what kind of Skyrim you're playing in. Want bright, sunny runs with low rain and softer shadows, or a cold, grim setup with darker days and heavier overcast? You swap climate presets, and the game leans into that mood. Nights can be pulled darker or lighter in-game, so you're not stuck choosing between can't see anything and midnight looks like late afternoon. On top of that, every region's weather combo gets tuned. Clouds, light color, fog thickness, all pushed into a more cohesive style. Rain and snow pick up better effects and particles. Interiors get lighting and color settings that match the new exterior look, and the whole image feels less like separate systems fighting each other. NAT basically hands you the controls for the atmosphere and lets you decide what version of Skyrim you want to record in. Most armor sets in this game look like you wrapped your character in hammered soup cans and called it a day. Armor of the Blades brings a little Fable vibe and gives you this here red drip. Set is plated from top to bottom. You get a bright red hood and cloak draped over engraved steel, with layered plates on the chest, shoulders, and arms that look like they were built for like an assassin-type dude. The legs are covered in carved greaves and heavy boots, so the whole silhouette looks like a fantasy-hired thug dropped into Skyrim. Mask goes hardest. Painted, no expression face under the red hood gives the character this calm, dangerous vibe, like they walked out of some old prophecy. In motion or in screenshots, the red cloth against the gray metal pops hard, especially in snow and mountain light. You also get the Sword of Aeons to match. Long blade, ornate hilt, same color scheme as the armor, so when it hangs across the back, the full kit still looks unified, even when you're not swinging it. If you're into armor mods and hero-style builds, this one's an easy pick. Now I gotta shamelessly and unapologetically plug the channel. So if you like the video so far, I got a bunch more like this with full load orders at the end, so Skyrim is your oyster. Do like and subscribe if you want to see how much more Skyrim can look like good game, because we got more and more mods every day, and I'm sitting on creations and browsing new stuff to show you guys daily. Begging is over now, here comes the next one. Cow Replacer by Mihail is one of those upgrades you do once, and then forget the game ever looked any other way. The old cows were those shaggy polygon bricks you walk past in farms and try very hard not to look at. These new ones actually read as animals that exist in the same world as your upgraded trees, rocks, and characters, instead of some early concept test that never got replaced. The model is completely redone. The body is thicker and heavier, with proper muscle and belly shape instead of a fuzzy cylinder on 4 sticks. Horns curve cleanly out and forward, not like someone stapled traffic cones to their head. The face has definition around the eyes and nose, so close, shots pick up expression instead of a blurry smear. Short, tight fur catches light across the back and sides, and the warm brown coat color pops hard in morning or evening lighting. Farmyards, stables, and roadside pastures suddenly have an anchor point for the scene. When you pan past villages or ride by on the road, These cows sell the idea that people are actually working the land here, not posing next to cursed hay monsters. It is a tiny part of the world on paper, but it quietly upgrades every screenshot that happens to catch a cow in frame. The Mehrunes Razor quest talks like you're about to walk away with a god-tier Daedric artifact, then hands you a short little lame dagger that might as well have been a toothpick. The design is fire, the range is not. This sword version is what that payoff should have been. It keeps the exact look of the original Razor and stretches it into a full blade. You get the same dark segmented metal, the vicious hooked profile toward the tip, and the distinctive guard and pommel, now scaled to a proper one-handed sword. There's a custom scabbard to carry it in, and blood textures on the blade during combat, so it looks like it sees real use. You can craft it at the Skyforge in Whiterun and temper it, so it fits into normal progression instead of being some static trophy. The mod includes both one-handed and two-handed versions, which lets you plug it into whatever build you're running without changing your whole playstyle. If you love the look of Mehrunes' Razor, but always felt scammed by walking away with a glorified letter opener, this is the upgrade that finally makes that quest feel worth the effort. Waterfalls in this game tend to look like white paint poured down a wall. From a distance they pass, but as soon as you get close, you can see the repeating tubes of water and the hard cutout where the fall meets the rock. It feels more like a looping effect than moving water. TMD Epic Waterfalls goes after that specifically, and rebuilds the big drops into something that actually sells height and impact. The flows are broken into layers and staggered steps instead of one smooth sheet, so the water looks like it is hitting ledges, breaking apart, and rejoining lower down. You get mist hanging at the base, side streams peeling off, and softer edges where the water blends into the river below. The rocks around the falls benefit too, because the new shapes frame them better. When you look up from the bottom of a gorge or stand on a cliff above a drop, the view feels like a proper landscape shot instead of a prop stuck on the wall. It is the kind of change you really notice when you pan the camera slowly, or when a waterfall ends up sitting in the background of a screenshot and finally looks worth keeping. Default hide armor looks like a bandit wrapped in whatever they could grab off the floor. Bare chest, straps everywhere, weird fur skirt, and not much that reads as usable protection. It's iconic, sure, but it's not convincing. NordwarUA's hide armor gives that slot a complete reality check. The new design leans into a padded coat and leather layers. You get a long quilted torso piece that covers the chest and stomach properly, with clear stitching, panels, and reinforced sections. Sleeves are fully covered, with bracers and wraps that actually tie into the rest of the outfit, instead of hovering there. Around the waist, layered cloth and leather sit over proper trousers and shaped boots, so the whole thing feels like one coherent set. On both male and female characters, coverage and proportions stay consistent. No weird light version pretending to be the same gear. It's a great fit for early characters, hunters, local guards, and anyone who's clearly not rich, but still looks like they're trying to stay warm and protected. This version quietly upgrades it from bandit cosplay to gear that feels like it belongs in a cold, rough province. Anduril is here for when random steel sword is not good enough. This is Aragorn's blade from Lord of the Rings, brought into Skyrim with its look intact, and it absolutely looks like a legendary quest reward. The blade is long and straight, with a clean central fuller and a controlled taper toward the tip. Runes line the flat, giving it that elven-forged, story-rich feel without turning it into a toy. The crossguard flares slightly at the ends, the grip is wrapped dark and simple, and the pommel balances the whole thing with a solid, purposeful shape instead of pointless ornament. In motion, it feels like a hero weapon. It sits well on the hip or the back, and when you draw it, the silhouette is instantly recognizable, even before you see the details. The mod gives it a proper scabbard, so it looks finished even when sheathed, and blood textures on the blade during combat keep it from feeling like a museum piece. You can craft it at the Skyforge and temper it, and there are both one-handed and two-handed versions, so it can slot into whatever build you're running. It's a good way to anchor a character without clashing with the rest of your kit. Vanilla wheat looks like someone planted yellow traffic cones and walked away. A few fat bundles around each farm, barely any height, and a whole lot of empty dirt between them. It works if you never point the camera at it, but the second you do, it screams placeholder. Real wheat pulls those cones out and replaces them with proper fields. The farms get tall individual stalks packed together so the ground actually fills up. Around places like Whiterun's farms, the fields turn into real patches of grain instead of random clumps. From mid-distance, you get that soft, moving surface of wheat instead of bare soil with decorations stuck in it. Color work is a big part of the upgrade. The wheat shifts to a more natural gold and tan instead of neon straw, with the tops catching more light and the lower parts sitting darker. It makes fields look like crops instead of plastic props. When you ride past mills or frame shots around farmland, real wheat quietly fixes something your brain always knew was wrong but never had a name for. Regal Paladin armor is big knight fantasy vibes. If you want a character who looks like they stepped out of a royal procession and straight into a fight, this is their fit. The plates are bright and clean, wrapped tight around the body with sharp ridges, layered sections, and gold trim that instantly sells cost and status. Red quilted fabric at the waist and under sections breaks up the metal and anchors the color scheme so it doesn't look like a walking silver brick. Belts and smaller fittings keep everything grounded and realish looking. A fur mantle sits across the shoulders, pushing the silhouette wider and making the character stand out in any group. The helmet is fully closed with a high, proud crest, giving that classic paladin profile the second it enters frame. It screams, "I am the captain now," before your character says anything. This set is perfect for holy warriors, royal guard captains, or any character that's supposed to be the visible edge of an empire, church, or noble house. You don't sneak in this. You walk in like the problem with your giant gorilla nuts. Vanilla horses have always looked slightly crusty, kind of dog water, basically ass. Short bodies, thick necks, chunky legs, and a stiff stance that makes every ride feel like you're sitting on a glued down toy. Oblivion Horses swaps that model for something closer to an actual riding horse. The body stretches out, the neck lengthens, and the proportions fall into a more natural balance. The head shape cleans up, with a slimmer profile that looks decent from the side, instead of looking like Legos. Legs get narrower and better defined, which helps a lot when the horse is moving or standing near the player. Combined with smoother fur, shading along the neck and flanks, the whole animal stops being pre-Polygon Tech era blob and starts feeling like a horse. Park one next to a cart or a character, and the scale finally makes sense. The back sits at a more realistic height, and the silhouette looks like something you'd actually trust to cross a province instead of a squat beast someone sculpted from memory. Draugr armor is what happens when you decide your character isn't adventurer with a sword anymore. They're the thing people find at the end of the dungeon and immediately regret waking up. The chest is built from thick, carved plates that look part bone, part corroded metal. Every surface has ridges, cuts, and engraved lines, so it never reads as flat steel. Light catches the raised edges, shadows sink into the grooves, and the whole front of the armor feels heavy and ancient instead of clean and factory-made. The shoulders widen the frame with curved, brutal pieces that give you that you should probably back up outline without turning you into a round tin can. The helmet does all the intimidation work on its own. Long horns sweeping out, a skull-style faceplate, and those bright blue eyes burning through narrow slits. It instantly says Draugr Lord, just now under your control. Arms and legs stay fully covered, with layered plates over darker underlayers at the joints, so the set looks sealed up and unforgiving from every angle. A torn dark cape runs down the back and extends the silhouette, giving you that tall executioner look when you stand still or walk away from a fight. Put this on a necromancer, cursed warrior, or any build that's supposed to feel like it belongs in a Nordic tomb more than a city tavern, and the armor does half the storytelling for you the second it hits the frame. The default Storm Atronach is basically a rock pile in a lightning cloud. It does the job, but it feels more like an idea sketch than a finished thing. The fourth unknown version turns that concept into a proper head huncho summon. The new Atronach looks like a constructed titan. Its body is built from heavy plates covered in swirling engravings, floating around a glowing core. Instead of random boulders, you get armor-like segments that stack into a clear, humanoid shape. Arms and legs are long and defined, with big clawed hands that look like they could rip through stone. The chest and head area are framed by overlapping pieces that create a strong central shape around the main light source. Lightning crawls along edges and joints instead of just buzzing everywhere at once. In motion, the carvings, gaps, and light all work together, so it feels both mechanical and elemental at the same time. Drop one of these into a fight, and it becomes a visual event. It stands out against sky, dungeon walls, or fog without getting lost, and finally looks like something you had to work to summon, not a floating blue rock fart. Cross of Lake Ilinalta turns that little sorry-ass lake from background scenery into a landmark. Out on the cliffs, you get a gigantic stone cross carved into the rock, with water spilling from the arms and spine in stacked waterfalls straight down toward the lake. From far away, it shows up as a bright vertical stripe cut into the landscape. As you get closer, the structure breaks into big stone blocks, sharp lines, and sheets of water throwing mist into the air. It feels less like a statue and more like someone built a shrine into the mountain and let nature fuse with it over time. The scale is what makes it land. When you scan the horizon from the tundra or ride around that region, the cross anchors the whole skyline. Weather changes the mood around it. Clear days make it dominate the view. Fog and rain half hide it, turning it into a ghostly outline hanging over the lake. It's one of those mods that doesn't need a quest or dialogue. The thing existing is the story. Big, strange, and impossible to miss, it makes that part of the map feel like it has history, instead of just being another stretch of rocks and water. That's going to be it for today, guys. 14 Bomboklat Pussy Wagan mods. Thank you so much for watching and for sticking around to the end. Here's a full sorted working load order just for you. If you like this and all the sweat and tears that went into it, I've got plenty more mod videos like this one with full mod lists, so have fun in your remastered Tamriel. A like and subscribe would be big appreciated to keep this little channel going. Console modding is getting bigger and bigger, and with Witcher 3 mods coming next year, I'm hoping to jump into that as well. Anyway, deuces, and I'll see you in the next one.